Once upon a time, there was a woman named Sarah. She lived in what appeared to be a perfect family, with a husband she loved deeply and trusted completely. Her days passed in peaceful harmony, and Sarah felt truly happy. But one day, her life was shattered beyond recognition. Her husband, the one she had devoted all her love to, betrayed her. The news hit her like a storm, tearing apart everything she had built. It wasn't just the loss of love, but Sarah felt as though she had lost her own worth. She blamed herself for not seeing the signs, for ignoring the warnings. Every night, Sarah fell into deep thought, consumed by anger, guilt, and sadness, struggling to put her feelings into words. Day by day, the pain inside her refused to go away. It felt like a heavy weight she couldn't lift. The feelings of resentment, self-doubt, and disappointment never left her. She tried to move forward, but everything around her seemed dull and meaningless. Then one day, unable to bear it any longer, Sarah decided to do something different. She walked into a small temple, a place she had heard about from friends, seeking peace for her weary soul. The atmosphere in the temple was serene, the soft light of the setting sun creating a warm, gentle ambience. Unlike the chaotic world outside, Sarah sat quietly in a corner, looking around, feeling an unfamiliar yet comforting sense of calm. The people around her were all silent, their eyes focused on the front, where a monk sat peacefully. The monk, an elderly man with a kind face and a gentle smile, began to speak. His words were like a gentle stream, washing over Sarah's troubled heart. "We all carry wounds inside," the monk began. His voice was soft, each word feeling like a tender touch on Sarah's soul. Sometimes, these wounds are self-inflicted, and sometimes they come from others. But what truly matters is not the wound itself, but how we choose to deal with it. Sarah didn't dare look directly at him, but she felt a strange sense of comfort in his words. His voice had a soothing quality, as though he understood what she was feeling, though she had never met him before. The monk continued, "Forgiveness is not about forgetting. Forgiveness is not about letting others continue to hurt us. Forgiveness is about setting ourselves free, so that our hearts are no longer imprisoned by pain." Sarah felt as though his words were reaching her at a deep level. She sat still, letting them sink into her mind. His message was simple but profound. Forgiveness was not for the person who had wronged her, but for her own peace. "Forgiving doesn't mean you have to forget," the monk said softly, looking around the room, his eyes resting on Sarah, as though he knew exactly what was in her heart. "It means you free yourself from the chains of anger, from the wounds that hold you captive, and you allow your heart to heal." Sarah felt something stirring within her. For the first time in years, a tiny flicker of hope appeared, the idea that she could truly heal. "But what if I can't forgive?" Sarah whispered to herself, as the monk's words penetrated her thoughts. "What if the pain is too much?" The monk, as if hearing her unspoken question, responded gently, "Forgiveness is not an easy path, but it is a path that leads to freedom. When you forgive, you're not just releasing the other person. You are releasing yourself from the burden of the past. You are giving yourself the gift of peace." Sarah's heart began to soften. For the first time, she realized that her anger had kept her trapped, unable to move forward. The pain had been holding her back, but perhaps, just perhaps, forgiveness could set her free. Sarah sat there for what seemed like an eternity, absorbing the monk's words. Emotions swirled inside her, anger, grief, doubt, but beneath it all, a quiet sense of clarity began to emerge. She knew she didn't have to forget the past, but she also didn't have to let it define her future. As the monk continued to speak, Sarah felt a gradual shift in her heart. The weight of the years of resentment and bitterness began to lift. Little by little, she realized that her anger wasn't helping her. It was only prolonging her suffering. She had been holding on to the pain for so long, afraid that if she let it go, it would mean accepting that everything she had gone through was meaningless. But now, she saw that forgiveness wasn't about excusing the wrong, but about giving herself the space to heal. As she looked up at the monk, she saw not a figure of authority, but a compassionate guide, someone who was showing her the way out of her own mental prison. And slowly, Sarah knew in her heart that she could forgive, not for the sake of the person who had wronged her, but for her own well-being. When she left the temple that day, Sarah felt different, lighter. The anger no longer clung to her, and the constant cycle of self-blame was broken. She knew that forgiveness wasn't a one-time act, but a journey, one that would require patience and time. But she also knew she was ready to take the first step. For the first time in years, Sarah felt a glimmer of peace. And so, Sarah's journey toward healing began, a journey fueled by the power of forgiveness. Through this experience, Sarah learned that forgiveness isn't a sign of weakness. Rather, it's one of the greatest strengths we can cultivate. It's a way to free ourselves from the chains of the past and embrace the peace we deserve. Now, let's explore the true essence of forgiveness. What does it truly mean to forgive someone? How do we find the strength to forgive those who have wronged us? And most importantly, how do we forgive ourselves? This story, while Sarah's, is a story that resonates with all of us. We all have our wounds, our moments of hurt, but we also have the power to choose how we respond to them. Let's dive deeper into the incredible power of forgiveness and how it can lead us to the peace we all deserve. This extended version captures the essence of Sarah's emotional journey and the transformation she undergoes through the teachings of the monk. It gradually leads into the main theme of the video, the power of forgiveness and its role in healing. Part 1. Forgiveness in Christianity. Forgiveness holds a central place in Christianity, deeply woven into the teachings of Jesus Christ and the messages found throughout the Bible. One of the most profound moments comes from the cross, where Jesus, while suffering unimaginable pain, says, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23 verse 34. These words, spoken in the midst of his agony, reveal the radical nature of Christian forgiveness. Even in the face of betrayal and violence, there is a call for compassion. Jesus' teachings on forgiveness are not merely about releasing others from their wrongs, but are deeply connected to the concept of spiritual freedom. For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Matthew 6 verse 14. In this way, forgiveness is both an act of mercy and a reflection of one's relationship with God. It is not optional. It is a requirement for those who seek peace with God. Forgiveness in Christianity is a gift that sets both the forgiver and the forgiven free. However, forgiveness in Christianity is not always easy. It requires strength and humility to let go of anger, resentment, and pain. When we forgive, we choose to release the heavy burden of bitterness and allow ourselves to heal. Jesus offers forgiveness not just as a divine act, but as a human path to peace. And by embracing this act, Christians are called to reflect God's grace and love toward all, even those who may have wronged them deeply. Part 2. Forgiveness in Buddhism. Forgiveness in Buddhism, while similar in its goal of alleviating suffering, carries a slightly different emphasis. It is seen not only as an act toward others, but also as a deep personal liberation. In Buddhist teachings, the act of forgiving is directly linked to the principle of compassion and understanding. The Buddha taught, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. In Buddhism, the path of forgiveness involves releasing attachments to past hurts and choosing compassion over resentment. It is not about excusing harmful behavior, but understanding the suffering that causes others to act in hurtful ways. The Buddha's teachings on metta, loving kindness, and karuna, compassion, suggest that, by forgiving, we break free from the cycle of anger and negative emotions. This liberation, in turn, brings peace to both the forgiver and the recipient. Forgiveness in Buddhism is an inner transformation. The goal is not to eradicate the wrongdoer's actions from memory, but to let go of the suffering these memories bring. Through practices such as meditation and mindfulness, one learns to release negative emotions and cultivate a heart of compassion. The practice of forgiveness allows us to be free from the grip of past hurts, leading to a lighter, more peaceful heart. Part 3. Forgiveness in Islam. In Islam, forgiveness is deeply embedded within the fabric of faith, and Allah, God, is described as the most forgiving, Al-Ghafur. Forgiveness in Islam is both a divine and interpersonal act, Muslims are urged to seek forgiveness from Allah for their own sins, as well as to offer forgiveness to others who have wronged them. The Quran says, "Forgive them and pardon, for Allah loves those who do good." Quran 64:14. A key aspect of forgiveness in Islam is the concept of mercy. Allah's forgiveness is boundless, and Muslims believe that no matter how grave one's sins may be, Allah will forgive those who sincerely repent. In turn, Muslims are taught to embody this quality of mercy and extend forgiveness to others, particularly in difficult situations. Forgiveness is seen as a way to strengthen bonds within the community and to purify one's heart. Islam teaches that forgiveness is not about simply overlooking a wrong, but rather about letting go of anger and seeking reconciliation. The Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, is often cited as a model of forgiveness. In a famous story, after being wronged and treated harshly by those who opposed him, the Prophet forgave them and even prayed for their well-being. His example teaches that forgiveness is a form of strength, not weakness. In Islam, offering forgiveness is considered an act of righteousness that brings spiritual rewards both in this life and the hereafter. Although the concepts of forgiveness in Christianity, Buddhism, and Islam come from distinct traditions, there are deep and meaningful connections between them. All three emphasize that forgiveness is a transformative process that not only heals the relationship between individuals, but also brings peace and freedom to the forgiver. In Christianity, forgiveness is a divine command, an essential part of one's relationship with God, which reflects God's own mercy. In Buddhism, forgiveness is about inner peace and the release from attachment to suffering, with a focus on compassion for both oneself and others. In Islam, forgiveness is an act of mercy that strengthens community bonds and purifies the heart. At the heart of all three teachings is the belief that forgiving others is a powerful way to release oneself from the chains of resentment, anger, and bitterness. It is a practice that frees the spirit and opens the door to a life filled with greater peace, compassion, and understanding. As we reflect on forgiveness through the lens of different faiths, Christianity, Buddhism, and Islam, it's clear that forgiveness is not just a spiritual concept. It's a deeply human experience, one that transcends religions and cultures. But how do we take this ancient wisdom and weave it into our own lives? How can we make forgiveness a real, living part of our day-to-day existence, especially when the wounds are deep? Forgiveness is not something that comes easily, especially when we feel betrayed, hurt, or misunderstood. But, like any powerful emotional practice, it requires patience, effort, and, most of all, a deep sense of self-compassion. Let's take a closer look at how to begin this journey. #1. Acknowledge the pain and the hurt. The first and perhaps most difficult step in the process of forgiveness is acknowledging the pain. It's all too easy to push our feelings aside, to bury the hurt under layers of anger or resentment, telling ourselves, "I'll just move on," or "I don't need to think about it." But if we don't face the pain, we risk carrying it with us, silently festering and poisoning our emotional well-being. It is okay to feel pain. It's okay to sit with your hurt for a while and admit to yourself that something or someone has caused you grief. Healing begins with recognition, acknowledging that you've been hurt, that the situation was wrong, and that it matters. This doesn't mean dwelling in the pain forever, but allowing yourself to feel it fully. Only then can you truly begin to let it go. If we refuse to feel the pain, we can become numb to the world, closing off parts of ourselves that need love and care. To forgive, you first have to give yourself permission to feel. By doing this, you honor your own experience and validate your emotions. This step is the foundation of all that comes next. #2. Shift your perspective. Seek understanding and compassion. Once we acknowledge the pain, the next step is to shift our perspective. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the behavior of others. It doesn't mean that we condone the actions that hurt us. But it does mean choosing to understand the person who caused the hurt, choosing to see them not as a villain, but as another human being, just like us. This is where the Buddhist principle of compassion becomes crucial. In Buddhism, we are taught that all suffering arises from ignorance. People who hurt others are often driven by their own pain, struggles, or misunderstandings. Sometimes, people hurt others because they are, themselves, hurting. Imagine for a moment that the person who hurt you is also battling their own internal demons. Can you feel a little more compassion for them? It doesn't make their actions right, but it opens your heart to a deeper understanding. When we choose to see beyond the actions and connect with the shared humanity between us and the person who wronged us, we allow forgiveness to start flowering in our hearts. The practice of loving-kindness meditation, metta, so prominent in Buddhist traditions, can be an invaluable tool in this step. By quietly wishing the person who hurt you well, by silently wishing for their happiness, you start to shift your own emotional state. At first, it might feel unnatural, perhaps even impossible, but the more you practice, the more the hardness of resentment melts away. ######3. Let go of expectations and release the burden ****. One of the most challenging aspects of forgiveness is letting go of the expectation that the person who hurt us will apologize or make things right. We often cling to the hope that, somehow, the wrongdoer will recognize their mistake and seek redemption. But, in reality, this rarely happens. Holding on to the expectation that someone will apologize often traps us in a cycle of resentment. This is a crucial moment of liberation. The moment you decide that your peace is more important than the need for justice, you begin to free yourself. Forgiveness becomes an act of empowerment, not a passive resignation. Releasing the expectation of an apology doesn't mean giving up your right to be heard. It means releasing the grip that anger and hurt have over you. By doing this, you are taking back your power. The other person's actions no longer control your emotions. You are no longer tethered to the past, bound by the hope for a reconciliation that may never come. Imagine the weight lifting from your shoulders as you release this burden. The air becomes clearer, your heart lighter, and you can breathe deeply again. #####4. Practice self-forgiveness. Let go of your own guilt ****. While forgiveness often focuses on others, one of the most profound acts of forgiveness is self-forgiveness. We all make mistakes. We all have regrets. We all hurt others, often unintentionally. But forgiving ourselves is essential if we are to find peace and healing. Perhaps you've held on to guilt about something you've done in the past. Maybe you've been carrying it for years, unable to forgive yourself for a mistake, a decision, or an action that you regret. Self-forgiveness is a gift to yourself. It doesn't mean absolving yourself of responsibility, but rather accepting that you are human, capable of growth, and deserving of grace. To forgive yourself, begin by recognizing that your past actions don't define your worth. Every day is a new opportunity to learn, grow, and be a better version of yourself. By forgiving yourself, you allow your heart to heal and your spirit to flourish. It's a way of saying to yourself, I am worthy of love and peace, despite my imperfections. ####5. Take small, intentional steps toward healing ****. Forgiveness is not an event, it is a process. It's something we must choose over and over, especially when the hurt is deep. The journey toward forgiveness is one of small, intentional steps ****. Start by choosing moments in your day when you can reflect on the situation calmly. Maybe you journal about your feelings, speak to a trusted friend, or engage in meditation. You don't need to force forgiveness or expect it to come all at once. It's okay if it takes time. Healing is not linear. It ebbs and flows. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that healing is a journey, and every small step counts. Every time you consciously choose to release a little bit of anger, a little bit of resentment, you make room for more peace and love to enter your heart. As we embrace these steps of forgiveness, we begin to understand that forgiveness is not a gift we give to others, but a gift we give to ourselves. It is a path to peace, a way to free ourselves from the chains of anger and resentment. In the next part of this video, we will explore the emotional and psychological benefits of forgiveness and how embracing it can transform our mental health, our relationships, and our overall well-being. When we think of forgiveness, it's easy to imagine it as a simple act, perhaps something we do to move on or let go. But forgiveness, when truly embraced, is much more than just a release of anger or hurt. It is a profound act of healing, a deeply personal journey that opens us up to peace, understanding, and transformation. Asterisk asterisk. In the quiet moments of forgiveness, when the walls of resentment finally crumble, you will find a power within you that had been buried by the weight of years of emotional pain. Forgiveness is not just about what we give to others, it's a gift we give ourselves. Hashtag 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 1. Relieving the weight of anger asterisk asterisk. Anger is a weight, a heavy, burdensome force that seeps into the soul and clouds the clarity of our hearts. For years, we may carry this weight, unaware of just how much it affects us. Think of how it feels to carry the memory of betrayal or the sting of unhealed wounds. It presses down on you, often without you even realizing it. In the quiet moments of reflection, you might notice the tightness in your chest, the knot in your stomach. These are the silent markers of anger, resentment, and unforgiveness. But when we choose forgiveness, we release that burden. Forgiveness is the act of laying down the emotional stone we've been carrying for so long. It's a conscious decision to no longer be weighed down by someone else's actions. And when that stone is finally set down, there's an immediate sense of freedom, asterisk asterisk, a feeling of lightness and relief, as if a weight has been lifted from your shoulders, asterisk asterisk. It's as if the clouds part, and for the first time in years, you can see the sun again. Forgiveness doesn't diminish the hurt, it transforms it. It allows you to free yourself from the emotional shackles of the past and begin a new chapter of your life. Hashtag 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 2. Improving mental health, a path to healing asterisk asterisk. The emotional toll of carrying unforgiveness is far-reaching. It creates a low hum of stress and anxiety that we often don't even recognize until we start to heal. When anger, resentment, and sorrow are left to fester within us, they erode our mental health. Asterisk asterisk. Research shows that people who hold on to grudges are more likely to experience chronic stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. It's as though the emotional pain doesn't just stay inside. It spreads through our entire being, subtly affecting every part of our lives. But there's something incredible about forgiveness. It's healing. It allows us to step outside of the storm and into a place of calm. When we forgive, we release that constant stress response and allow our bodies and minds to begin the healing process. Forgiveness works like medicine for the soul. It soothes the wounds that have been left by years of pain, and slowly but surely, it brings us back to balance. As we let go of resentment, we find a deep, restorative peace. Our hearts soften, and the mind, once clouded by anger, clears. We experience a freedom from constant tension, a return to a state of equilibrium. Asterisk asterisk. When we choose forgiveness, we choose to reclaim our peace of mind. Hashtag 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 3. Healing relationships, the gift of reconciliation asterisk asterisk. Forgiveness is often thought of as a personal matter, something that only affects the person who chooses to forgive. But in truth, it's one of the most powerful ways to heal and strengthen our relationships with others. Forgiveness creates the space for reconciliation, for the possibility of repairing the emotional bonds that have been fractured by hurt and betrayal. Asterisk asterisk. Even if the person who hurt us never acknowledges their wrongdoing or expresses regret, forgiveness frees us from the poison of resentment that has been slowly poisoning the relationship. It doesn't mean we condone the wrongdoing or that we allow ourselves to be hurt again. Rather, it means we choose to set ourselves free from the grip of anger and pain. Forgiveness opens the door to healing, both for ourselves and for the relationship. Asterisk asterisk. In some cases, forgiveness might even lead to a deeper bond. When we forgive others, we often find ourselves able to see them through a lens of compassion, recognizing their own flaws and struggles. Asterisk asterisk. We stop seeing them as the enemy and instead, as fellow human beings who, like all of us, are imperfect and in need of love and understanding. Forgiveness, then, becomes an act of deep empathy. It connects us to the humanity of others in a way that resentment never can. Hashtag 4. Empowering yourself, reclaiming control. Forgiveness, in its deepest form, is an act of empowerment. When we hold on to hurt, we allow the actions of others to control our emotional state. We give them power over our happiness, our peace, and our lives. But when we forgive, we take that power back. We reclaim control over our own emotions and our own life. Forgiveness allows us to shift our focus away from the wrongs that have been done to us and back onto ourselves. Our healing, our peace, and our future. It's not about excusing the pain caused by others, but about deciding that we will no longer let their actions define us. By choosing forgiveness, we break free from the cycle of victimhood. We decide that our happiness, our mental well-being, and our peace of mind are more important than the grudges we carry. Forgiveness becomes a tool for empowerment, helping us reclaim our power in situations where we may have once felt helpless. Hashtag 5. Fostering inner peace. Forgiveness isn't just about letting go of anger. It's about creating a lasting sense of peace within yourself. At its core, forgiveness is about finding balance and harmony in your own heart. When you forgive, you begin to align yourself with a deeper sense of inner peace. A peace that transcends external circumstances. This peace isn't a fleeting feeling. It's a state of being, a foundation for how you move through the world. When we forgive, we release the emotional tension that keeps us in a state of dis-ease. We stop reacting to the world with anger and hurt, and instead, we respond from a place of calm, understanding, and love. This inner peace doesn't just benefit us personally, it radiates outward, affecting our relationships, our work, and our entire approach to life. Forgiveness creates a ripple effect of peace that flows through everything we do. Hashtag transition to next step. As we explore the emotional and psychological benefits of forgiveness, it becomes clear that forgiveness is far more than a mere gesture. It is a profound tool for transformation. It frees us from the weight of anger, helps us reclaim our peace, and empowers us to heal both ourselves and our relationships. But forgiveness is not only an emotional act, it is deeply spiritual as well. In the next part of this video, we will dive deeper into the spiritual rewards of forgiveness, exploring how letting go of resentment can bring us closer to a sense of higher purpose and alignment with the divine. As we conclude today's journey through the transformative power of forgiveness, I want you to reflect for a moment on the healing that can take place when we choose to release the weight of our past hurts. The lessons we've discussed, from understanding forgiveness through the lenses of Christianity, Buddhism, and Islam, to the practical steps we can take to forgive, are not just abstract concepts. They are the keys to unlocking a new chapter in our lives, a chapter filled with peace, compassion, and liberation from the wounds that have held us back for so long. Forgiveness is more than just an act we perform for others. It is a gift we give ourselves. It is the choice to no longer be shackled by anger or resentment, to no longer let past wrongs define our present or our future. When we forgive, we reclaim our power, our joy, and our freedom. Perhaps you're feeling hesitant, or maybe you're struggling with forgiveness in your own life. That's completely okay. Remember, forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a process, and it often takes time. What's important is that you start, that you make the choice to take that first step, whether it's acknowledging your pain, understanding the hurt, or simply choosing to release the need for retribution. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to a life of inner peace. As we part ways today, I encourage you to look at your own life, to identify the wounds that still need healing, and ask yourself, can I forgive? Not just for the other person, but for me. What would it feel like to truly let go? And if you've already embarked on this journey of forgiveness, know that you are not alone. We are all in this together, supporting one another as we heal and grow. Your story matters. Your journey matters, and the forgiveness you offer today will echo in your life in ways you may not even realize. Thank you for watching and for being part of this conversation. If today's video resonated with you, if it offered insight or comfort, I invite you to subscribe, share with others who may benefit, and leave a comment below. Let's continue the conversation. What does forgiveness mean to you? How has it shaped your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. Remember, forgiveness is a journey, and every step counts. You are worth it. Your peace of mind, your happiness, your emotional freedom, it's all within your reach. Keep walking the path of healing, and always choose to forgive.